Hello everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I've got good news and I've got bad news. I'm going to start with the bad news, and that's one of my two cats died of cancer. Thank goodness for pet insurance is all I can say, because the surgery that could have saved his life but didn't was very expensive otherwise. The cat's name was Midnight. We had him for 12 years. He would lay on my chest or on my legs and stop me from getting up in the morning, and he was nothing but trouble. And we loved him for it. The surviving cat, our young 2-year Oliver, runs around going, "Row, row, row," looking for the other cat. It's kind of sad. Anyway, I spent a couple days being depressed about that. Now, as for what everyone's asking about, the next Elder Scrolls lore episode, I actually recorded it a week or two ago. And I've been waiting for an editor, someone who approached me earlier and said, if you record it, I'll make the visuals. So I'm just waiting on him to get the finished video back so that we can get that lore episode up. The second biggest question I get is, what have I personally been up to? Well, I have been working on my novel for Luray, Chronicles of Rebirth, a little bit. For the most part, I've been working on a independent writing project I really can't talk about since it's for somebody else. And as for my free time, pretty much all of it has been consumed by a video game known as Warframe. In Warframe, you play as a space ninja who flies around levels, killing enemies at a rapid pace. Feels very Dynasty Warriors-esque, and the main criticism people have about the game is that there's too much grinding. Newsflash, the game is grinding. If you don't like grinding, then you don't like the game, because that is the core gameplay loop, is to grind. And for me at least, it's tremendous fun. Dark Rider in my community here runs the clan, but there's several other people on my regular Discord server that can get you an invite. I used to main Trinity Prime, but since then I've moved over to Inneros due to his massive survivability. I do actually intend on doing a Warframe lore video after I do a What If Vermintide Was Good, because Vermintide is still one of my favorite games of all time, and therefore I really feel like just throwing down my ideal Vermintide. As for Elder Scrolls content, aside from that aforementioned lore video that I was working on, I'm also continuing the adventures of Lord Woodbourne. That is my Morrowind character. If you Google Lord Woodbourne, you'll see that he's the antagonist of Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. I have this crazy little fan fiction going on in my head where Lord Woodbourne is the Neverine. It's actually impossible based on the prophecy, but we don't care. And in other Elder Scrolls content, I'm also working on Crusader Kings 2. For those of you who've never seen the Elder Kings mod for Crusader Kings 2, it basically gives you a grand strategy Elder Scrolls game, where pretty much the entire land of Nirn is yours to fight over. So the real question is, in the Iliac Bay region of High Rock, will the King of Wayrest of the House of Woodbourne prevail? We don't know. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm not a huge fan of grand strategy at all, but this is entertaining for the sheer amount of lore that has been put into this. Hell, if you want to be a heretic against the 8 divines and join the Elysian Order that was toppled before, and try to convert your country to the Elysian Order and have the rest of the world become your enemy, you can do that. You'll get your ass killed, but you can do that. There are all kinds of religions everywhere, including small pockets controlled by Daedra. You want to be a crazy old god worshipper in the Reach? Go for it. You want to be a Malakath worshipper of Orsinium? Go for it. Only you can conquer the entire world, passing your dynasty on to your son and your son's son, and so on. Is that not enough for you? Play as a vampire and forget about old age entirely. Yeah, people will hate your guts for it, but that's fine. Oh, don't want to play as a vampire from the get-go? Maybe you want to transform into a lich instead and betray everyone who loved you. You can do that. What's this? Lord Shealgoroth gives you 3 boxes to open? Be careful what you choose, because a saber cat might jump out and kill you, or you might get a ring that bestows upon you long life. Who knows? The point is, I wasn't even going to give this game a second thought until I looked at the complexity they put into the Elder Kings mod. There are similar mods for Warhammer and Forgotten Realms and things like that, but I think this would be what would get me into the game. Finally, in terms of anime bullshit, I decided to pick up the new Nier game, since it looked kind of interesting and I felt like I wanted to play something different. I'll be live streaming both this and Elder Kings at a later time. Thank you all for watching. Check out the coming weeks for a lot more content, and I will see y'all next time.